All right, y'all. So back at it again with a video on what I would do if I had to restart my fitness journey. What would I change? What would I improve? Because at the end of the day, I made a lot of mistakes. It's been a almost 11-year journey right now. I've been doing a lot. I've been trying a lot of different methods. I've been eating differently. I've tried 1 meal a day. I've done six, 7 meals a day. I went the bodybuilding route. I went the functional training route. I've done so many different styles and trainings and protocols. I've not done steroids, and I don't plan on doing that ever. But when it comes down to it, the one thing that the first thing that I wish I would have done was taken my diet more serious than I did when I started. So I had started when I was in college. I quit playing basketball my freshman year. Right before the season started, I just stopped. And I needed to compete. I needed to do something. So I started training in the gym. I wanted to look a certain way. I was skinny. I was scrawny. I didn't necessarily care about the diet side of things. I cared more about the training because that's what I thought was going to get me faster results. And yes, I gained 20 pounds of muscle in 3 months. Kid you not. I was a whole brand new person over that summer when people came back, that 3-month summer. I looked completely different. That's what had my training career take off because I was training people on campus. I was making money. But I say all of this because I could have accelerated my process a lot faster and even went longer and shortened the time that it took for me to look the way that I look now to maybe 5 years and not 10 years if I would have actually locked in on my diet. So that means your macros, figuring out what the macro scheme is for you, what the best macro combination is. Is it higher fats? Is it higher? Obviously, it'll be higher proteins if you're trying to build muscle. Do you need higher carbs, right? Or do you need lower carbs? Do you need lower fats? Do you need, a balance of all three? I need carbs. That's just how my body works. But I tried a low carb, high protein diet and I lost all my energy. Right? There were times where I didn't even want to go to the gym because I didn't have energy. That's just how my body's built. You have to figure out how your body works early. And professionals know how your body will work based on just your body type and your metabolism and how things work. I had a very high metabolism, right? So if I'm not eating enough carbs, if I'm not eating enough calories, I was very deficient when it came to my caloric intake. I knew this because I'm starting to track all the foods that I ate. I was really eating like once or twice a day, right? And I was drinking because I was in college, I was partying. I was staying up late, I wasn't sleeping, right? But when it comes to the diet side, that's something that I really needed to take advantage of. I really needed to make sure that I dialed in on my nutrition. I was eating whole foods. I wasn't eating fast food as much, right? Yeah, it's college, but I had goals. I wanted to reach goals. I should have paid a trainer. I should have hired a coach to help me. I didn't do that because I thought I could do it on my own. I thought I could just go find a celebrity workout or go look up my favorite influencer's workout, not knowing that my favorite influencer was jacked up on gear, on steroids, right? A lot of us didn't know this until later on. I didn't start figuring this out till like 5 years in. I'm like, oh, buddy took steroids? That's crazy. I didn't know that. But anyway, that's the nutrition side of things. I should have taken my nutrition a lot more serious. Should have figured out what really worked for me and what didn't work for me. On the training side, I wish I would have focused more on time under tension. Time under tension is one of the greatest things you can do to, one, improve your mind-muscle connection and also to improve hypertrophy, right? Hypertrophy happens when you have a solid amount of time under tension, right? Maybe your time under tension is about 4 seconds. Or maybe there's an isometric hold that you do, right? Just to keep that tension on the muscle. I wish I would have did this. I would have been able to develop a lot faster, even more faster than I did. I think I developed 20 pounds in 3 months because I had the genetics for it. But I mean, I could have accelerated even more and I could have kept going. But that time under tension I didn't have. I was just swinging things around. I was ego lifting. I was on the bench and I was trying to just bench heavy, even though my form wasn't the greatest. I was throwing the weight up. I wasn't concentrating on each rep. I wish I would have had time under tension when I was training. I wish I would have had periodization, right? Periodization essentially means that you're increasing the weight. For me, it should have been 5 pounds every week. I should have seen increases. I should have tracked that. I didn't track it. I just went to the gym and just threw around weights. Whatever I felt for that day, I was doing. There was no sign of progress. I didn't know if I was progressing. I just knew I was looking better, but there was no sign of progress. Nothing was tangible. I wish I would have tracked that. I wish I would have had some sort of progression with my weight that I was doing, right? I also wish I didn't take on a lot of fad diets. You hear veganism. I tried veganism for a month. It was the worst thing I've ever done. I don't care what anybody says. Veganism is poison. Like, for me, just look at what they're substituting for the different meats that you're supposed to be eating. They're giving you artificial ingredients in other foods when you could just eat regular meat that's grass-fed and organic and get way more nutrients and not the artificial stuff that they're putting in it, right? But I wanted to go that route because that's what propaganda was at the time, right? There was I forgot the name of the movie, but it talked about how veganism was the best way to go and humans were supposed to be vegans and not meat eaters, complete nonsense. But I went that route, man, and it just tanked me. I was gaining, you would never expect it. I was actually gaining weight in my midsection. Like, my abs stopped showing a little bit more than they usually did. I was sluggish, I was slow. The reality is veganism is inherently an estrogenic diet. I didn't know that. I didn't understand. I wish I would have understood estrogen and testosterone at the time and understood hormones. I didn't know. So I'm having a highly estrogenic diet while trying to train and boost my testosterone because testosterone helps you build muscle. But instead, I was pumping myself with estrogen, with soy milk. I was drinking a lot of soy milk. All that. I wish I would have known. I wish I would have actually stuck to a balanced diet and actually understood what specifically I was doing and didn't fall for fad diets. I tried paleo even, right? It didn't work for me. For me, I need a balance. I need a balance of carbs. I need a balance of proteins from different sources, and I need a balance of fats. That's me. I just need a balance. I'm very low maintenance. I don't need a special diet, right? Another thing I would have done differently was I would have really like filmed myself a lot more just to see how I was moving weight, right? Just to see, not even just for social media, but really like for myself to just analyze myself. It's like watching game tape. You watch yourself, you can critique yourself because I didn't see myself. Also, training with a partner. I never trained with a partner. I was always solo. So how are you going to hit the peak of how much weight you need to lift, controlling that weight if you don't have a partner just in case you drop the weight on you, right? So those are the things that I really wish I would have did to start to just accelerate the process a lot more. Another thing is recovery. I wish I would have prioritized recovery. I did not. I did not prioritize recovery whatsoever. Instead, what I did was I would train hard. I wouldn't say twice a day. Once a day, I would always train. I did not take one day off or deloaded 1 week. You don't even need to take a full day off, but like go lighter, go significantly lighter. Maybe do some maintenance on some things, right? But I went hard every single day at that time. Now I can do it. It's not going to bother me because I've already hit a point where like my growth is going to be slow regardless. But during those times, that first year that you're training, you can soar in growth if you do all of the things that I'm telling you right now. If you incorporate these things, these nuances, right? If you incorporate them early, you'll supercharge your growth. I wish I would have known this when I first started. Your muscles break down when you're in the gym and they recover when you're sleeping, when you're resting. That's how it works. Because when you're training, you're breaking down that muscle. When you're moving weight, you're breaking down the muscle. You're stressing it, right? And then when you take the break, the muscle has to build back. It's almost like a callus that when you cut yourself, you get like a scab, right? It's like a scab, but then the scab turns into a callus and it becomes bigger. The skin becomes bigger, right? Or rougher. That's essentially how muscle, and I know a lot of these scientific people are going to come on here hating like, bro, that's not really what it is. That's how I describe it because that's how it fits for me in my head. I know there's a very scientific way to say it. I don't feel like looking it up and telling you that. I'm just telling you from layman's terms, what I believe that process is. It is as accurately depicted in my head as what the science says behind it. So I'm going to keep what I said. But if I would have understood the importance of recovery, drinking enough water, I never used to drink water, even when I used to drink, because I never really got hungover ever. So I wasn't drinking enough water. I was dehydrated. I wasn't sleeping enough. I was pulling all-nighters. I didn't have my recovery intact. I got injured a few times to where I injured my back, my lower back, deadlifting. Because I was tired and I didn't brace my core when I was deadlifting, and I pulled my lower back, and I was out for like 3-4 weeks. if I would have prioritized recovery, if I would have prioritized stretching, dynamic stretching, when I started doing it, my body started feeling better. Dynamic stretching. I never used to stretch when I went to the gym. I still really don't, but I wish I would have done it a lot earlier, a few times, because stretching allows for your body to regenerate. It allows for you to be more flexible. It allows for less injuries to happen. These are little things that make a big difference over time, especially when you keep getting sidelined from injuries. All right? So these are the things I wish I would have did. If I were to restart my fitness journey, I would have incorporated them completely, and I would have probably seen tremendous results, more than I've already seen. I've had a crazy amount of progress, don't get me wrong. I'm not the most jacked person in the world. I know people, when they watch my jacked videos, they're like, you're not even jacked. You're not even, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm not a professional bodybuilder. I don't care to look as big as possible, as lean as possible. I just want to look good with my shirt off, like right now, and have haters be like, put your shirt back on. I'm at the crib. I could wear whatever I want, for real. But anyway, I keep getting sidetracked. At the end of the day, you just really want to make sure you prioritize all these things that I'm telling you on top of what you're already doing. And I promise you the results will be a lot quicker. Just incorporating these little things, these little tips. They seem very basic, but I'm telling you, they make a big difference when you actually understand them. And I know a lot of you don't know a ton about weightlifting. You don't know a ton about being in the gym, which is why I say these things to you. So if you found this valuable, like, comment, subscribe, sign up to Mind and Martell newsletter, right? We talk about everything. We talk about all the gold pills. I tell you, you have to be physically jacked, financially jacked, mentally jacked, socially jacked, and spiritually. Did I say spiritually already? I always mess up with all these 5, but you get what I'm saying. You just have to be jacked all around, right? So that's what we talk about. We go through each of those pillars. We send out an email at least once a day, or at least once a week. We do once a day right now, but I don't know how long that'll be. But yeah, tap in, get in there, and keep growing with us. So I appreciate you again. I'll catch y'all on the next video.